strategy of online marketing. And we do a lot of social media as part of that. But we also do SEO and all types of online marketing, blogging, the website, all the different social media platforms. So and there's always something to talk about. So we usually just go around and say our name, our company, and then answer a question. And today's question is, what are you trying to accomplish this year for your business? And I know that we only have, 7 months left of the year. But is there something specific that you would really like to accomplish before the end of the year? And if you could define that for us and we could give you feedback. And then you're welcome to say a couple things this time about your business, because I think we have a little more time today than we usually do. How about if we start with you, Steve?
Okay. Steve Francis with Solaro PC Tech. What I'm trying to accomplish this year is to, I guess, correctly manage and figure out what is the right transitions in the industry as PCs start going away and maybe even laptops, and get into more of these guys, which I just got so I can know more about them. And also how the market is going about pricing, because it's so dynamic right now. Everything is changing from PCs to more mobile devices, and figuring out what we need to be getting into and how to do it.
Mm-hmm. So how you're going to adapt to the changing environment.
I don't know how to say it with just 3 words.
Oh, no, today you don't have to worry about 3 words. Sometimes we do. We say you only have 3 words, so use them wisely. But
And I was just going to say, I mean, even the people who will have PCs, because some people will still have PCs.
They will.
They're also going to have mobile devices.
Right.
And so whoever their go-to person is for their mobile devices is who they're going to go to for their PC. So
right. They want
to
exactly
one source.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So you need to grab the entire market. Yeah. Excellent. Sharif.
My name is Sharif Morgan, Connexons Web Development, and I think this year I'd like to free up more of my time in my business. So figure out how to delegate more work to others and pursue other projects that I'm interested in.
That's a good goal.
Jen Delaney with the Temp Connection, and I would say our goal that we're trying to accomplish this year is to really master our social media schedule and really get that down to a science.
Do you have one right now? A schedule that you're using?
We're trying to stick to it. Sometimes it's hard, but we're really trying to stick to it and trying to really get everything out there and clear, concise.
Yeah. Interesting. Pam.
My goal this year is to break into the demographic that I've been trying to break into, and I think I finally, well, we'll see at the end of the year.
You don't want to...
Oh,
you want to share what that is?
Yeah. Yesterday I just launched the first fun calendar, Tucson Fun Calendar, and my demographic that I'm trying to break into.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Hello.
Build awareness with this. Women 25 to 55 that run offices, and they typically have families, and or.
So you want to go directly to the office managers, it sounds like.
Well, I just feel like it's just, I want to communicate in some way that, and that's where they live. They're looking for things. So I want to communicate in a way that reaches them. And the communication, I want to go viral. I want people to
Hey,
share
can you join
it
us?
with other people. So it's a calendar of fun things, and the calendar has outdoor movies, outdoor concerts.
Things that would appeal to that demographic. That's a great idea.
Yeah, just another go-to resource.
Yeah, exactly. And I hope it's going to be shared with other people. And
Okay.
yeah.
This sounds good. You're on the right track. We have somebody new just walked in, and what is your name? Jeff. Okay. What we're doing is, what we do is we go around and introduce ourselves, and our name and our company name, and then answer a question, what are you trying to accomplish this year? If you want to wait till we get to the end, we'll come back to you. I just wanted to prepare you for it. So.
Can I sit up there now?
Yeah, there's a spot right here.
One here too.
Yeah, there are a couple spots. We've got a small group today. Memorial Day weekend and some kind of bug going around.
I'm Karen Irby with Boundless Network, and I'm in the promotional product business, and helping companies keep their brand recognition on track.
Mhm.
And my goal for this year is to become more adept at the technology.
More adept at the technology. Great.
Because I know that's where it's all going as we're saying.
Yeah.
All right, so Sandy Byron, two things, seeing as I'm not specifically promoting a business at this point. One, I think, is to translate a lot of my ideas, translate ideas into reality. And the other thing is, I think, having moved here to Tucson doesn't, I've made a lot of friendships and relationships and involved and stuff. I don't think Tucson will truly feel like home until I have figured out what my professional place is in Tucson. And then I think it will be home. So those are the two things I'd like to accomplish.
Great. I like that. Translate ideas to reality. That's a great phrase. Jean?
And if anybody can do it, you
Yes.
My name is Jean Pelletier, and I'm the COO of Beyond Indigo, and we do digital marketing primarily for veterinarians and funeral homes. My goal this year for our company is to get a better understanding of metrics. We're very good at doing things. We're very good at measuring what we do, not quite as good at being able to really see what the results are, and certainly measuring impacts of social media, measuring impacts of SEO on businesses is an elusive target, but that's
So you'd be able to do that for each of your clients.
I want us to be better.
Better at doing that for the client, not for yourself, but for
for our clients.
as a service.
And
Okay.
for us too.
Yeah.
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 Certainly for us too.
Great.
But as my friend Katie Payne says, measure what matters.
Great.
I'm Jeff Warner. I'm the broker of Realty and Investments. I have the company for the last 11 years now, been in real estate for 20 years. With the downturn of the economy, a couple of years ago, I went back to college and went to the University of Phoenix and just graduated actually last month from the University of Phoenix, getting my bachelor's in management. So my long-term goal is actually to get into sales position and sales management. I will probably still do real estate on the side, but at this point I'm not really necessarily promoting the business for long-term. My actual long-term goal is to, with my age, I figure it's probably time to actually go out and work for somebody, with insurance and benefits and everything. I figure I got another 20 years to work somewhere, so now it's probably the time to do it.
You're going to diversify your sources of income, it sounds like. Yes.
Not keeping it all on real.
Okay, that's probably wise.
My primary source of income.
Yeah. That's probably wise.
Yes,
This is my husband, Jim Lips, and he's helping me with this new project of online streaming. We do have, is Susan on? Hi, Susan, if you're on. One of our members is in Kansas, and she's on, and we're going to grow with this. But thanks for your help. And my daughter, Danielle, who is our videographer and media assistant. And Mike, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself.
Mike Grade with Social Network Assist, and Sharif and I have very common goals. I'm trying to delegate everything I do to him, and he's trying to delegate everything he does
That's
to me.
great. That's great.
That way, one of us gets to end up on the beach. So
Yeah.
we're just wrestling. We're
What
in a
about me?
Similar place, though. Similar place in that we need to get to a place where I'm handing more off, and I get to do more of my job that I do enjoy, like this, which is getting out, meeting people, talking to
Teaching.
people, and teaching people.
Yeah, you're a great teacher. Which is, well, me, what I'm trying to accomplish this year is to diversify Smart Group so that it is an online, more of an online business, and we have a national and international clientele. So by the end of the year, I would really like to be selling products internationally that are having to do with social media strategy and online marketing strategy. So, what was that noise? As you can see, Heather Dobson who I promoted so much all week, called. She couldn't even speak this morning. She has some kind of inner ear problem. She's made an offer for a webinar in the future for us to make up for it. But luckily, we already have an in-house expert on Facebook, and we have several of them, but the premier one's right here. So Mike Gray, I didn't worry at all. I just called him up and said, hey, can you fill in? And he said, of course. So he'll do, I think, just as well, if not better, than Heather. Yes. No, Heather's great, but Mike's the best. So I am going to talk about Klout just for a few minutes before Mike comes on. And why am I talking about Klout today? Is anybody surprised, or does anybody have a guess as to why? Because just a few weeks ago I was saying, ignore Klout, it's just it's just a waste of time.
I don't know what it is.
If you don't,
Your rating must have gone up.
exactly.
The last 30 days.
Yeah, that was one thing, but there's a reason it went up, and there's some effects from it. So one of the, let's see, I can't remember if I'll wait to I want to read you something, because I was on the plane going back east, and I had an issue of Wired magazine, and I can send anybody who wants this the whole article. It's quite a long article. But I was reading this article, and this really caught my attention. And this is actually before my Klout score went up. And just bear with me, because it's 2 short paragraphs. Last spring, Sam Fiorella was recruited for a VP position at a large Toronto marketing agency. With 15 years of experience consulting for major brands like AOL, Ford, and Kraft, Fiorella felt confident in his qualifications. But midway through the interview, he was caught off guard when his interviewer asked him for his Klout score. Fiorella hesitated awkwardly before confessing that he had no idea what a Klout score was. The interviewer pulled up the webpage for Klout.com, a service that purports to measure users' online influence on a scale from 1 to 100, and angled the monitor so that Fiorella could see the humbling result for himself. His score was 34. The interviewer cut the interview short pretty soon after that, Fiorella says. Later he learned that he'd been eliminated as a candidate specifically because his Klout score was too low. They hired a guy whose score was 67. Partly intrigued, partly scared, Fiorella spent the next 6 months working feverishly to boost his Klout score, eventually hitting 72. As his score rose, so did the number of job offers and speaking invitations he received. 15 years of accomplishments weren't as important as that score, he says. So that really caught my eye, and I thought, hey, I better check this out. So what I normally do, I just wanted to present Klout, and I'll end up with why or how you should use it. But first of all, why Klout? And I think one of the things is it's really fun. It's really fun to get feedback for once. You know how you're on social media and you're sending out posts and you're retweeting and you're reposting. You're doing all this stuff. And the only feedback you really get is when you see that somebody's replied or retweeted, which is great. But when that can be quantified with the Klout score, it's, there's some kind of affirmation and fun about it. So I think that is one reason a lot of people do like to use Klout, and it's made it more successful. Another reason is that it's competitive. So if you have like a little competitive instinct in you, you can, like I was noticing that I was 57 and Bill Nordbrock's 57. So I'd like to beat him on Klout and get a little higher. If you've got that, I think most of us have that little competitive drive, and that makes it more fun too. Now, this is something I didn't know, and maybe some of you tell me who already knew that you could win perks on Klout. Raise your hand. Sharif? No? You have to be at least 50 to start winning the perks, but I just won a perk of 50 free business cards that were really cool business cards. I haven't filled it out yet. The higher your number, the more perks you get. Well, I'll speak a little more about that in a second. It's a way to get attention, because you can broadcast, hey, my Klout score is this high, so I must be somebody in social media world. So it's a validation of what you're doing and that you're successful. Businesses can use it to market, and this is where the perks come in. You can offer perks to Klout members, and that way you get your product noticed. So like if you have a new product, you want to get it noticed, one of the quickest ways is to offer as a perk to the higher score Klout people who have a lot of online presence, a lot of social media presence. So the thought is that they're going to tweet about you and post about your product once they see it for free. And it's so the same thing. It's a marketing channel for your products, and I really just already explained that. And also, people are paying attention to it. So here's the article, here's the issue of Wired that I was reading. And to talk about a little bit about what Klout is, because you know I always do this what, why, and how approach. The what is, it was only founded not even 3.5 years ago. They have a formula, just like EdgeRank and some of the other formulas we've talked about. And it's an algorithm that's based on your number of followers, your likes, your retweets, and your shares. However, one of the ways that it's really different from anything else is it measures the interactions between all of these followers. So it's a better representation of how much interaction you get online with all of your posting. 57, I gotta brag. So how do you do a Klout account? First of all, if you're on Twitter, you already have one. And is everybody on Twitter here? Yeah, almost I think everybody. Okay, so you can just go to klout.com and you check in with your Twitter account so that you can see what your number is. If you've done barely any social media, you'd be down around 10. So not to worry, you can get really easily up into the 30s. But if you have a Twitter account, you're already on, they're already measuring your Twitter. You can opt out if you don't want to be on it. But you have to go to the klout.com to opt out. Can opt out?
Opt out of what?
Opt out, you can just say, I don't want to have a Klout account at all. Yeah, and then they'll take you off. But they automatically, with your Twitter account, give you a Klout score. So as soon as what I did, as soon as you start connecting your other accounts, it starts improving your score, because then they can measure more than just Twitter. And so I connected my Facebook account and it shot up. And then a couple days ago, I connected my LinkedIn and it shot up again. So if you want to improve your Klout score, if that matters to you, then I would advise you do those two things. The biggest thing is if you tweet a lot, and if you tweet about similar subjects. So if you just tweet all over the place, it doesn't count as much as if you have a specific theme that you tweet about. And that way you'll get more retweets, replies, and more recognition on Klout. Oh, and this is another thing that drove up my score. You can actually check and see what other people that you know, see what their Klout scores are, and make sure that you're connected to them. And I think actually when I connected to, I think it was Heather Dobson, I saw my score go up again. So it was just kind of fun to watch this happening. Another thing is, they really prefer positive. I don't know how they quite measure this, but somehow if you have more positive, interesting posts and tweets, it will count for more on Klout. I don't know how they measure that, so don't ask me. The perks kick in, as I said before, when you go over 50. Justin Bieber is the only one that has 100. Is that what you're laughing at?
He's a real important person.
And most important is that the percentage of your posts that are liked, retweeted, or shared. That's what they're looking at in their thing. This is just, I don't know if everybody can see this, but there's Justin Bieber at 100, somebody at 85. He influences 250,000 people.
Robert Scoble's only 85, wow.
What would you thought it was higher? Like?
Yeah, Scoble tweets is everywhere, everywhere.
85 is really high.
Obama is 91, is what I saw. Who is Randy Zuckerberg? Does anybody know? Randy Zuckerberg, 78. That's a sister?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's probably outdated because she doesn't work.
The Affleck Duck is 47. And then this is Ron Conway. He's a very influential angel investor in Silicon Valley. And his I think that what they're trying to show is that you can be a very influential person, but that doesn't necessarily lend to having the higher Klout score. And the reason is, do people listen to him when he tweets? I don't know. So not that much if he's a 48. That's what they're measuring. So if it's measuring your power through your tweet. So even though he's an important man, his tweets are not as listened to and as important.
Or maybe he doesn't have as many.
Or maybe he doesn't have screen.
Right, and which
Maybe
means
he doesn't have as
that
many.
they're not as important. They're not as listened to. He's not making a statement. Let me just give you some examples. Palms Casino Resort in Las Vegas. It's what they're doing there is when you check in, they surreptitiously check your Klout score, and they give you a better room, because what they know is if you have a higher Klout score, you're more likely to post about your experience there. So they want to make sure you have a great experience there. So there's kind of a subtle perk.
Is that where we're going to get
Yeah, now that I'm so high at 57, no. So at salesforce.com, oh, that's okay, no problem. I was wondering, is that me? They have a service now where you can monitor the Klout scores for customers, because salesforce.com, that's a contact information list, or CMS. CRM, okay.
Customer relationship.
Okay, yeah. So you can see on your customers who has a higher Klout score, and then you can respond to them more quickly and give them favors. Now, this doesn't sound right, but it's just a fact that if a business thinks that you're more likely to post about your experience with them, they're going to try to give you the best service. So that's how they're using it. Another one is the Guilt Group, and that was one of my perks, is that I had a discount at the Guilt Group. That they offer discounts that are proportional to your score. So at 57, my discount I think was pretty small, but at least I had one. And then I'm sure Justin Bieber's is much higher if he wants to shop at Guilt. Airlines are starting to use it to give preferential treatment, seating, how fast you can get on, how early you can get on the plane, and where your seat is.
Wow.
So that then you're going to post, American Airlines is the best, I love my seat, it was so comfortable, whatever. So this gives you an idea of what it's all about. So I think that's, and to finish up, my Klout score is 0, I don't even exist. So I guess everybody better exist and get on Twitter. Any questions about Klout?
How do you create relationships with people?
On Twitter? On Klout?
On Klout.
You can go to Klout.com and you can search, you can put in if you have put in your Twitter account and your Facebook account, they'll generate for you all of your contacts there. And then you can go through and you can see what the Klout score is.
They read them off of Twitter.
And then you can invite them to Klout if it just says invite. I mean, it will say invite on it. So I'm sorry, what did you say?
They get them, they feed them in from Twitter. and
Yeah, it's like they connect.
Relationship, it's the
No, it's through Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn. So you have to already have had that contact through one of your social media platforms.
So if you've already have a connection with them through Facebook, then you've got a Klout connection.
Yeah, so like if you go in and check, Mike, you've got a pretty high Klout score, don't you?
I don't remember. It's
okay.
been probably 2 months since I've looked.
Well, if you go in and connect with me or Bill Norbrock or somebody that you know that's got a higher score, Michael Gray's, his is at least 48, but it might be 54. I'm trying to remember. I checked it.
I was in the 50s, but
Okay.
I don't know where I'm at.
And it can go up and down pretty quickly. So if you go on vacation for a couple of weeks and you don't do anything on social media, it will go down.
Well, doesn't it also have something to do with how many friends you have on Facebook? Because
Not as many
That's
friends,
part
but
of the...
interactivity is valuable.
Right, exactly. It's part of the equation, but they put higher emphasis on how often you're retweeted, posted, shared, all that. And then they'll show you who of your friends or your contacts is not active on Klout, and you can send them an invitation.
Okay.
So, any more questions? And
Trying to see if I can
I'm sure you exist. I am going to pass this over to Mike, who is